Welcome to the end of the regular season in the Marshall Thundering Herd Dynasty. Here we face Old Dominion and a team that really has underachieved this year, but we are looking to finally solidify our spot in the conference championship game. We are currently on a 6-game win streak, 6-1 in conference overall, 7-4 record overall, and we are 3-0 at home and 4-4 away. We have played 8 road games this year, and this will be our 9th. Can you believe it? We've only had 3 home games this entire season, but we have went on the road and won. So that should be a notch in our column there, at least to be one of the best group of 5 teams in the nation going into bowl season. But we have our final work to do here in this regular season game as we look to close out this season with another win. Here is what the college football playoffs look like, though. There are a couple of teams here I want to note. How about UTSA and Charlotte, both group of 5 teams and in the playoff? That's totally different than what we saw last year, where group of 5 teams were not getting any love at all. But this year, in the American at least, UTSA is 8-3. They are the top team, and then Charlotte's right behind them, and they are ranked nationally higher than them as well. So going into recruiting before this game, I do want to highlight a couple of guys that have been on our board we just haven't been able to go after. The first is Robert Session. We finally have some points to put on him, so we will start to scout him. Now, he's considering Memphis and Marshall. He's out of Franklin, Tennessee. We start to unlock his ratings, and I want to be careful with what we unlock, but we do only need to click it 2 times to find out he is a gem wide receiver, 3-star, 97 speed, 95 acceleration, 74 catching. This is a guy that's just been sitting on our board the entire year. We just haven't been able to scout him at all because, well, we just haven't had the time, to be honest with you. So I look at now Session, Westerman, and Spadell, 3 wide receivers who are all kind of similar, and they're all kind of smaller in stature. Session's actually 6 foot, 200 pounds, or 5'10", 200 pounds. Actually a kind of stronger receiver in his build. So we are going to go after him, and we're going to send the house because I just kind of like what I see out of him. And he is also a gem. Also, that definitely sticks out. Trey Westerman is not a gem. He's just kind of a normal guy. So he's probably going to end up being normal dev. So I kind of favor Session over what I see from Westerman right now. So coming into this game, Michael Green has 10 sacks on the season. We'll see how many he can get total this year, but he has eclipsed that mark. But I really want to make an impact opposite of him. I tried Peloni Franklin, at that edge rusher this entire year, and it's not been very productive. So we're going to try Chasen Clark there coming off of the edge today, because Peloni Franklin, 4 sacks the entire year. That's definitely not the production I'm looking for. JJ Hawkins has 4.5, and he's rushing as an interior defensive tackle. Really listed as a left end, but I have him there, and he's been pretty productive, and that's a harder position to get sacks from. So I really want to make a change there and see if we can get after the quarterback today. We played Grant Wilson, who we played last year, and Grant Wilson was a guy that led the conference in passing yards a year ago. So we definitely want to get after him early and often. But our offense has really been hot lately, and it's been the reason why we've been on this big win streak, and a big reason why we are in this position that we are in. 27 touchdowns, 5 interceptions for Grant Wilson. He also leads them in rushing. He is their entire offense, by the way. So we're going to really need to stop him today. But I think this is more than likely the last regular season conference game we'll have in the Sun Belt, as we'll look to move on probably to a new conference. As you can see, we have been dominating this conference now for 2 seasons, even when everything was kind of up in the air early on in the season. We didn't really have any, rapport with our receivers. We didn't really have much chemistry, but now we have a full steam ahead. Here we go. The last game of the regular season is underway, on the road again. And this is Brian Santana who takes it back to the 15. And out comes this offense wearing these all-black unis. Handoff this time to Randy Young, and he will pick up a gain of 6. Randy Young playing in his last regular season game with the team. He is a senior. Here's a quick throw out to the right side. That's Rashad Thomas, and he picks up the first down. Now at the 35-yard line, a quick RPO action out to Chuck Montgomery. Montgomery's got speed down the sideline, tackle at about the 49, and a couple of big first downs here for the offense. Pennington now, screen pass out to Santana. He waits for his blockers, and he does pick up a gain of 12 and another first down. Good looking drive here for the offense. This is Pennington stepping up in the pocket, picking up a block by Barron McFadden, and he does slide for a gain of 12 yards. Play action fake now. Pennington trying to buy some time, getting it out to Aiden Steinfeld, who breaks a couple of tackles, and the sophomore picks up the first down. Ryan Santana was shaken up a couple of plays ago. He will be okay. Now at the 7, here's a quick throw to the right side. That's caught. Chuck Montgomery add another one to his total. It's a touchdown. What a season the senior is having, and he was the one returner in the receiving corps, and he has showed up all season long. And now it's going to be 6-0 after we actually missed the extra point. That was the first extra point we've actually missed. This is going to be a handoff this time. Grant Wilson needs to get his running game going today. And that will go for a gain of 8. Now here we go at about the 33-yard line, and another first down here by Old Dominion. Now I want to highlight some of the players on defense that we really, are going into next season, and that's Sunday Uba, the senior. He gets after the quarterback, and that's one of those guys we're going to have to replace Sunday Uba along with the guy I just highlighted there, and that is J.J. Hawkins earlier. Here's a quick throw across the middle, tackle by Landon Watson, who is a junior coming into this season as well. 3rd and 11. Here is Wilson from the shotgun, screen pass called out there. He picks up a block, and he gets knocked out by Green McKnight and Landon Watson, and we do force the punt. So here is our offense back onto the field. Play action fake, throw it to the right side. And look at that touch on that pass. It's Chuck Montgomery. The one thing I love about Pennington is his accuracy downfield. It's really good. Here's a throw now. This time to Aiden Steinfeld, the sophomore tight end. And he picks up a first down. 7 of 7 to start this drive for Pennington. Make it 8 for 8. Here's an RPO action. He picks up blockers downfield. DeJuan Whitehead with a nice block, freeing up a nice first down catch and run. We can do no wrong here on offense so far. Here's a quick throw to the right side. It's Brian Santana as he fights forward for a gain of 9. We eventually get the first down now for a 1st and goal. Here's a throw to the right side. It's going to be Rashad Thomas fighting for the pylon and tackled just a yard short. As Randy Young, the senior, checks in, give it right to him. It's a touchdown. He has an XP on that touchdown as well as skill points, and we will go up by 2 scores as Randy Young makes a play, and he continues to have a lot of touchdowns on the ground. I believe that's his 8th touchdown, by the way. So here we go back on defense as Grant Wilson trying to bring his team back as we tried to go for 2 and we did not get it. So now it's an awkward 12-0 score as they do pick up the first down that time. There is Leon Hart Jr., who leads our team in tackles so far this year. He brings them down. So running the tight end in motion this time. Here is an RPO keeper, and it looks like it's going to be stopped just short of the first down. It's Jadarius Green McKnight, a guy that really wasn't playing at all early on in the season, and he's been starting the last 4 games for us. He's been really good. And Old Dominion brings in their kicker, Sanchez, who misses the long one. That was from 55 yards out. Remember last year, Sanchez missed 2 early field goals, and he continues to have struggles today. So here we are on offense now. Here's Pennington throwing across the middle in a good pocket that time from the O-line. And Chuck Montgomery, 4 for 75 and a touchdown so far this game. He has been phenomenal. Still 4 minutes to go here in the first half. Here's Pennington under pressure, and they do finally get a stop, and we get a kick. We bring in Brees Veerhoff for the field goal. 15-0 here. Pretty awkward score, but we have scored on every drive so far today. Our defense has been playing well, as they have not been able to move the ball efficiently at all, as here is Wilson just trying to hurry up offense to see if this works. Running his receiver in motion this time. They throw it out to him, but the defense swarms them, and it's not going to be a first down. Corey Myrick with the stop that time. And now here our offense comes back out onto the field. Here's a quick throw. This is the freshman DeJuan Whitehead, having a decent freshman year, about 400 yards receiving so far. Here is Pennington now taking off up the middle, and that will go for about a 1 yard short of a first down. 1:10 to go. This time, play action fake this time, throwing across the middle. It's caught. And Pennington just on a tear, finding Trey Allen for a gain of 17 yards. And now we're inside the 15. Here is pressure, and Pennington just throws it away. That pressure was right in our face. We had no choice. We threw it out of bounds, but intentional grounding. 3rd and 19 at the 20. Here is Pennington, this time trying to escape, and instead of stepping up, he tries to get around. You sometimes forget that Pennington can't run. And now we line up here for a very long field goal, 49 yards, and it's off of the crossbar and no good. We had it perfectly aligned, just not enough power. And now Grant Wilson in this offense takes over here to start the second half. As here is a handoff this time, but the defense just continues to make plays. They have been stuffed so far today. Wilson in the pocket. This time throwing across the middle. He will finally find his target for a first down. Josh Moten on the tackle. We send pressure this time. Throwing out to left side in front of Corey Myrick is a catch. And another first down. That one to his favorite target, Williams. This time he throws to the right side, a high point ball, and he does come down with it. And another first down. Handoff this time to the back inside the red zone for the first time today. And that will be a gain of 1 maybe. 3rd and 5. We only send 4 this time. And Michael Green gets to Wilson and causes the throwaway. And we do end up forcing them to the field goal. And now here we are up 15-3, about 4 minutes to go here in the third. Here is Pennington throwing to the right side, and he's barely got a first down to Chuck Montgomery. Moving the chains again. This time hanging off to Randy Young, who has a lot of space up the middle, and that's a first down. One improvement I want to make going into next season is being able to run the football consistently, as here is Randy Young breaking a couple of tackles, staying on his feet for a gain of 14 yards. So Randy Young with a couple of nice carries, though, as we're on the edge of field goal range here at the 30. Here's a throw to the right side. It's DeJuan Whitehead to the 10, the 5, touchdown. DeJuan Whitehead with the speed, and that's what he does well. Give him those long crossing routes, especially in man coverage, and he could take it all the way. 22-3 here in this one. And it seems like Marshall is in full control. Even though the score seems a lot closer than what the game looks. There's a nice throw by Wilson on the sideline, and that is a first down. Is now here he is close to the 50. Wilson again in the pocket facing pressure. Sunday Uba gets to him for the sack. And that's a loss of a lot on that one, bringing it to a 3rd and very long. The senior just continues to make plays. We've been fortunate enough to have 2 senior defensive tackle starters these first couple of seasons. Here's a deep shot. It's Jadarius Green McKnight in coverage, and he can't make the play. What a throw by Grant Wilson. They're inside the 5. Here's a handoff. This time, and Old Dominion will punch it in for the touchdown. And now it is kind of a game. It's a 2-score game. 12 points separate the 2 teams. Old Dominion does get the ball back here one more time before the end of the game, hopefully, as Grant Wilson converts right there. Here's another quick throw to the right side. This one's caught, and another first down catch. TJ Lott as he was one of the key contributors to the game last year. But here's Wilson under pressure. He gets rid of it, and that's a completion, and now they're inside the 10. And now they have goal to go. 3 minutes to go. Here's a throw to the end zone. Corey Myrick could have ended it right there. That could have been a pick six. Instead, it's 4th and goal at the 1. Wilson in the pocket, trying to scramble. Under pressure, he goes down. And guess who? Michael Green will end this game, essentially. Wow. Michael Green, just incredible. Incredible player. Look at that. That is just perfect for the thumbnail right there. And now we look to close this out with under 2 minutes to go. Here is Randy Young. He gets this blocker and another one. He breaks free. His longest score of the season. Touchdown, Marshall, and exclamation point as we walk into the conference championship game. 29-10. There was never a doubt in this game. We absolutely dominated, scored in every quarter, shut them out a couple of quarters, and Cole Pennington was on his A game. He knew how important it was to get back to this conference championship game, and he now solidifies Marshall's spot. 23 of 32 for Grant Wilson. He is a senior, so that will be the final year, if we were to stay in the conference anyway, that we would face him. But a very efficient game from the offense. How about Randy Young? 11 for 73 on the ground, and then also caught that pass. So this was probably his best game he's had this season, and saved it for the last game. So he had 1 for 58 and then 11 for 71 on the ground. That was definitely his best game. And that, like I said, that's been one area we have been struggling, to run the football. We have not had a 100-yard rusher at all. Not one this entire season. And that's been, kind of tough, because then it puts a lot of pressure on Cole Pennington and these young receivers, along with obviously Chuck Montgomery, the veteran. But we do get after the quarterback. We get a big win today and solidify our spot in that conference championship. But we finish with a record of 8-4 on the regular season, on a 7-game win streak, finishing 7-1 in conference play. Sunday Uba actually receives Defensive Player of the Week in the Sun Belt after 1.5 sack game. And we do get our spot here, and we are ranked 8-4, and we are ranked as a Group of 5 team. And how about Texas State? They are number 11 in the country right now. And I look at the rest of the conference championships, and the Group of 5s have had a very good year. Marshall and Texas State are ranked. UTSA is number 18 in the country. Ohio is number 19 in the country. And this is how the college football playoff looks like after that week. Not much has really changed, but UTSA, automatic qualifier. Apparently they are the best Group of 5 team. And then Texas State as well. So this is how the conference standings kind of shaped out here in the Sun Belt. You can see Louisiana actually went on a big win streak as well. It was the game after we beat them. They ended up winning 5 straight. So we knew that was kind of like a rivalry game for us. Obviously, we played them in the conference championship. They finished with a pretty good record at 7-5. They recover after a slow start. But I wanted to check out the rest of the Power 4 conferences, because how is it that some of these teams are like 9-3, 8-4? Purdue, look at this. They're going to the conference championship, and they are not even ranked. And I don't know how that's possible. Maybe it's just my save here where these rankings are a little weird, but they are fixed from what they were. We were seeing some like 5-loss Georgia as the number 1 team. That definitely shouldn't happen. That's fixed, but definitely seeing some Power 4 teams that maybe aren't as high as what we would have thought. So now I want to recap the season and really talk about the future of this program before getting into the conference championship. Dwayne Gardner is our top remaining prospect on the board. He's a very good 4-star defensive end, And I am going to follow your guys' advice and start to switch a lot of these guys over to hard sell. And Dwayne Gardner has the perfect pitch. A- playing time, A+ playing style, and A- proximity to home. Seems like a no-brainer, to be honest with you. We're going to switch that over to hard sell. He's got the time to get to work, and he is very close to committing anyway. I'm very surprised looking at his ratings. Nobody else has offered him a scholarship as a 4-star. So that might just be a layup for us. Dylan Gilliam, who is our top remaining offensive prospect on our board. He does have a deal breaker for, I believe, coach prestige, or maybe that was a championship contender. I'm not really sure. But looking at his perfect pitch, we don't really have one. We do have A+ playing time. We know he's probably going to end up being one of the best backs we have on the roster pretty much like right away. But proximity to home is a B. Playing style is a D-. So we're just going to pitch it anyway. Time to get to work. And we are right there, number 1 ahead of Navy and Toledo. And I'm also going to add a 10 DM to get that point total up to the 50 out of 50. Now let's talk about the 3 receivers we have here. First, Brandon Spadell. We already know he's very speedy. He is close to committing. So I don't think I truly need to change anything here, because I think that we pretty much got him in the bag. Just one more week which goes by. It's going to be National Signing Day, so we are just going to do it just to be fun, and we will hard sell him here. And you can see the only thing that is an A is our playing style. Like, his playing time is only a B. So I'm guessing that he's probably going to come in as possibly a low 70s overall. And when I say low, I mean probably like 70 or 71 or even 69 overall. We've seen DeJuan Whitehead come in. He was a 60, I believe a 67 coming in. And now he is at a 69 overall, I believe. But I look at Robert Session, and he has like really good mental abilities, and he has a good physical ability. So we actually send the house on him, and we're going to switch that over because he is actually a gem. Now, I'm hoping that he is a star or elite dev. That would be amazing. But time to get to work. That pitch again actually is really, really good for him. Playing style, proximity home, and playing time, A-, A+, and a B. So we are going to do that same thing we did with Dylan Gilliam. Do the pitch and then also add the extra 10. And then there's Trey Westerman, the third of this receiver group. And like I said, I look at Westerman and I see that we have other 2 receivers just like him, so I don't really feel all that compelled to go all in on him. Yeah, it's great to get these guys. However, we have Spadell, we have Session, and we have, you know, guys on our roster that look like this. So I'm going to still pitch him, but we are not going to go as hard on him. And we're just really not going to try and go all in because I see that Louisiana is his number 1 school. He is from Texas, so the proximity to home is a bad grade for us. It's a D+, so I'm having a hard time finding a good pitch, but it does possibly seem like that time to get to work might be the best pitch still, even though the proximity to home is a D+. He's got B playing time, A+ playing style, so we will at least pitch that to him. We'll see if we sway him. If we don't, it's not a huge deal, but he's one of the remaining players on our board that we really like. A guy that I haven't talked about much is Zeke Bakhtiari. He's got platinum clear-headed. He's got gold recoup, which means he's going to be really good with his stamina. So if we need to run a hurry-up offense, he's going to be good. I mean, if the other teams run a hurry-up offense, he's going to be good. But I have 2 really good 4-star defensive linemen on this board in Dwayne Gardner and Bakhtiari. These 2 could be the future at defensive end for us. Who knows? We have some young defensive ends on the roster right now who I really like. So we are going to sell him, and he will be a hard sell. And look at this, the perfect pitch. Time to get to work again. Playing time, A-, playing style, A+, proximity to home, A-. I mean, if he doesn't commit after this, along with what we see from our other defensive end, I mean, these 2 are probably going to be future starters together. So I'm very, very excited. We have a lot of good players on this board. It's not like a lot of players as far as quantity, but quality is just really, really good. The final 4-star we have on our board is Jason Keener. We're going to do kind of the same thing with him. We're going to hard sell him. His playing time is actually at A+, and he is probably going to end up being the highest rated player at safety for us coming into next year, just based on us having, I believe we have 4 senior safeties graduating. So we definitely need him more than the other positions, but we'll see what he looks like when he comes on campus. Now, he is not a gem, which kind of sucks, so he's not going to develop very quickly, but hopefully he comes in as a high overall. We do miss out on Nelly Owens. I did like Nelly Owens for a lot of the year, but he ends up committing to South Carolina, so we're going to remove him from the board. Dante Ingram, too. He was a good player. Now, one thing I liked about him is that he had 79 zone, which was one of the highest I've seen from a safety, especially as a 3-star. Joseph Gardaki was a good tight end we were recruiting. Now, I was kind of using him as maybe a backup on this board because we had Tony Hood, the tight end who committed to Georgia earlier, and Gardaki was just sitting on our board. And then last minute, Kentucky came in and kind of swooped him up, and it looks like he's close to committing to Kentucky. So I'm going to try to hard sell him as a last-ditch effort. Time to get to work really works well with him, too. It seems like that's maybe the best pitch of all of the recruits on our board. And we'll see if we can, sway him somehow. Dom Hammer, a quarterback. What a name that is, by the way. We haven't even scouted him, but we're just going to keep recruiting him because you can never have, enough quarterbacks, at least to develop. Tim Ramesh is an athlete down on the board, 3-star, along with Troy Zimmons. These guys are guys that I haven't been going after too hard, but after we, get a couple of commitments here, free up some points, maybe we can put some more on them. Mateo Kajust, another one of those guys, and we are the only team to offer him, so I'm not really too worried on that part. So last year, we tried to fire our offensive coordinator, but we did it at the wrong stage. We were supposed to do it at the conference championship stage and then hire at bowl week. So that's definitely what we're going to do here. We're not going to miss out on that opportunity. One thing about our offensive coordinator is that he does have the scheme guru tree unlocked, but I want to get maybe guys that help with developing guys in the offseason. Our defensive coordinator, for example, I'm going to keep around because he does get a offseason training boost for linebackers, defensive linemen, and I really, really value that, especially knowing that we are, trying to recruit D-line, trying to create a really good pass rush. So I'm going to keep him around because he does give us that extra offseason training boost. But our offensive coordinator, we are going to let go, and I think what I want to do is get a offensive coordinator in here that is maybe a better recruiter or a better motivator for offensive players, because I want those off-season boosts, but we cannot hire one this week. We have to wait a week. So that is kind of the stage we're at. So we're going into this conference championship game without an offensive coordinator. And I say that going into looking at the final stats because Courtney Lyles is still here on a red shirt. We have not played him at all this year, but he is the plan at the future at quarterback. He has developed actually a little bit, but I do want to see a big offseason boost from him. So with our coach points that we may get between now and the end of the season, we're going to put it on that quarterback development because I do want to develop him in the offseason, see what he's got, and maximize his abilities. He has the same skill caps as Cole Pennington, one more actually with his elusiveness. So that's maybe a difference between him and Cole. Obviously, he's a lot more athletic with 92 speed, but he has the same skill caps. He can be just as good as a passer that Cole Pennington is. Receiving wise, I think it's kind of the same story. I have obviously a veteran in Chuck Montgomery. He is a senior, but a lot of question marks behind him. Now, Chuck Montgomery had a monster year. He had 60 more receptions than the next guy up. He had, 700, 800 more yards than the next guy up. He had 11 touchdowns. Nobody else had 5. This is the type of season that Chuck Montgomery had. He was dominant. So we really had to focus on developing this young receiving core. I look at DeJuan Whitehead, and his upside is a little limited, though. He can get better as a route runner. He can get better with his hands. He's about as fast as he can get. That's fine. He's 97 speed, but he at least has a decent upside. It's not great, but it's pretty decent. So he's got some room to grow. So he is definitely a guy that will be a part of the future of this team. Aiden Steinfeld is kind of capped out as it is. He has a couple of more skill points as far as route running goes, but besides that, he's kind of capped out. Rashad Thomas, a sophomore, another one of those guys that is close to being capped out. You can see he's only going to get one bar better in route running and hands, and then a couple of more in power. So this is kind of what he is. And then Keanu Samoa is the same way. He's almost already capped out at 69 overall. So this is as good as he's going to get at this point. So you can see why when we recruit those receivers, it's going to be very, very important to get those guys and have good development traits, because when you recruit these guys that are like 68, 69 overall and they won't develop much, you're kind of stuck with what they are. You won't have that chance to develop them. And looking at, kind of our season 1's recruiting class, Monty Mayweather was a guy that I liked, but he's pretty much capped out. Like it's no point in redshirting him at this point. Like, you got to get him out on the field because he's not going to get much better than what he is. Offensive line was difficult this year, but we made it work. We had a lot more of a quick game this year, and it did actually pay off the second half of the year. We started to figure it out, really. Isaac Darnold was a true freshman center. He actually has a lot of room to grow. His skill caps aren't the greatest, but at 69 overall, he's pretty good as it is, especially as a pass blocker, and he's just going to improve as a run blocker as well. Julius Levitre, we started at right tackle, but obviously we have some offensive linemen coming in this recruiting class. I think Levitre, if he doesn't have a big offseason, I might shift him inside. We'll see, because he is primarily a pass blocker. He's not much of a run blocker, but he is okay. He's not terrible here, but we'll see what happens here going into next season. But overall, I've been pretty happy with Julius Levitre at right tackle. Defensively, we only forced 3 interceptions this year. Corey Myrick should have had an interception in that last game where he had that ball in the end zone, but he only had 2 interceptions on the year. But obviously, we got a big season from Michael Green. He was amazing. He's a junior going into his senior year. I expect him to really, really, I don't even want to say like take the next leap, because 11 sack season is nothing to sneeze at. But I do want to see some improvement opposite of him. And obviously we started Paoloni Franklin, and you see his skill caps, like he has actually a lot of room to grow. He is a junior. Maybe he had a down year, but I was just not happy with the production that he brought to the table this year. And then at linebacker, we had a couple of guys. Leon Hart Jr. was a junior. He did okay, but not much of a playmaker. He did, makes a lot of tackles, but that was pretty much it. Good ratings, but the skill caps still there. Gary Cage, star development. He is a young freshman. He's got pretty good skill caps, 67 overall. I think he's going to be a good player, but he's definitely got to play more. He's our fastest defensive end at 81 speed. Kelechi Nwangu, he is decent as well, but he's probably capped out at probably a high 70s overall player. That's probably as good as he's going to get. So I definitely want to add to the depth at that position. But he is a local kid as well. But then there's Alex Holdman, who is an elite dev player. And you can just kind of see the difference between him and everybody else. His deal breaker is championship contender, but look at the skill caps. They are all the way up. Power is all the way up. Finesse moves are pretty much 2 bars short, and then power moves is 1 bar short. So he's got a lot of potential. He's got that gold road dog and silver team player as well. So that's going to do it for this episode. And next episode will be our second straight Sun Belt Conference Championship game. Should be a good one. Hit subscribe, hit that like button. Stay tuned. Let's get it. Let's go.